Hello everybody and welcome to Kiwitea Street for the OFC Champions League Matchday 3 clash between Auckland City and AS Mont Dore. Two clubs with contrasting fortunes in the opening two matches of the competition. Of course, Auckland City with 2 wins from 2 games. AS Mont Dore still looking for the first point, and there is a look at the trophy that is up for grabs this season. A brand new trophy for a brand new version of the continental competition. Plenty at stake today. Another win for Auckland City would carry them closer to the semi-finals and almost certainly consign AS Mont Dore to the lower reaches of the Group B table. The last time these two sides met was in 2007, and Auckland City prevailed in a 4-0 win, and interestingly enough, although the Navy Blues triumphed by a healthy margin, that margin proved to be inadequate in terms of getting them to the Champions League final that season. They were knocked out at the group stage on goal difference by rivals Kiwitea United. The West Aucklanders, of course, have their own problems to take into account. They've got to travel to Tahiti and take on AS Dragon, and that is looming as a fixture where they absolutely must take something out of it if they hope to keep their semi-final hopes alive. So just a rundown of the fixtures of match day 3. You can see there in Group B, Auckland against AS Mont Dore, and the two tables, Bar and Amicale leading in Group A. And Auckland City, 3 significant changes for you. Takua Iwata has come into the side. Pedro Garcia and Darren White, a signing from Canterbury United, have also been included. The 3 players who drop out are Andrew Mill, Daniel Koprasic and Manel Exposito. And with Auckland facing 3 matches in the space of 8 days, this could be part of Ramon Trebulich's approach to rotating his squad. For AS Mont Dore, the name that's missing there is Olivier Dokanengo. The New Caledonia international captain is missing from that lineup. Much will depend on how Cedric Dequoy and Ludwig Ziola perform. They are amongst the most experienced players in this Mont Dore lineup that looks like a 4-2-3-1 formation.
Darren White. 7, James Pritchard.
Well, Kiwitea Street had the highest average attendance of any football club in New Zealand, as we see referee Norbert Hoata make the toss. Ivan Visilic indicating there his preference. Handshakes all around. So Kiwitea Street had the highest average attendance for any ASB Premiership club in the season just gone by. It hovered in and around the 900 mark. You will note today that the crowd looks rather less than that, and with so much winter football kicking off in New Zealand last weekend, a number of the Kiwitea Street regulars are probably out playing their own matches.
Your referee for today's game, Norbert Hoata from Tahiti.
Norbert Hoata is supported by Mark Rule and Tavita Makasini of Tonga. You saw in your picture there. Albert Riera going through his paces before kickoff. He's been in some tremendous form for the Navy Blues. The victory over Kiwitea United saw him back to his best form. He lines up in a midfield alongside Chris Bale. Pedro Garcia has also won a start, and for Takua Iwata, just looking back through the ASB Premiership records, it looks as though it's his first start for Auckland since February the 6th. That was a 3-2 win over Team Wellington here on the same ground. Well, you can take nothing for granted in the OFC Champions League. Mont Dore may be bottom of the pool, they may be without a point, but they will still take some beating. Mario Beelan, I'm informed, is the correct pronunciation of the new Auckland City signing. Many of the Kiwitea Street faithful were pretty quick to point that out to me. And here he is on the ball, Beelan. Clips a long diagonal ball in for Adam Dickinson. He can't hold on to it. Now Darren White looking to take on the defender. Can he get a cross in? Oh, and that has ended up in the hands of the goalkeeper. Not so sure about the defending at the near post. Mont Dore stack up as one of the youngest teams in the OFC Champions League this season. You take a look at the composition of AS Dragon. Oh, and look at that. That was pretty tight. Raman Pine Benny had hunted out Chris Bale. He was the goal scorer in Mont Dore's last match. They led AS Dragon 1-0 for a significant portion of their second fixture. That's a good ball by Beelan for Taku Iwata. He's got to the byline. Iwata tried to cut it back for Gustavo Suto. It's with Dickinson. Garcia might fancy it, and high over the crossbar. This was Darren White just heading for the byline. And look at the defending. It came off the shin pad of Bessier, the skipper. And the goalkeeper, Joran Weimer, took it gratefully in both hands. Pine Benny. Oh, and the flag has gone up. Jean-Pierre Bob was the player caught offside. Beelan. Iwata. Well, Mont Dore looking to press this Auckland City backline as often as possible. It does yield results, but it demands an awful lot of labour-intensive movement from any side, particularly on Auckland City's home ground. Beelan. Chris Bale. Looking for that ball in behind the left back for Darren White. James Pritchett was providing some assistance, but White's just knocked it in behind him. That's a throw in for Auckland City. Jean-Pierre Bob couldn't keep the ball in. It's taken quickly for Dickinson, who's turned his marker. He's up against the keeper, and it's in the back of the net already. 4 minutes in. It only took Adam Dickinson 4 minutes last week. It's taken him the same this. Auckland City 1 goal up. He just rolled off the centre half, Matiu Hervo, and the goalkeeper didn't have a hope, Joran Weimer. Clinical finishing by Adam Dickinson, his 4th goal of the campaign. So questions asked already of Mont Dore. When you're at the bottom of the group, this is the last thing you need away from home against the top team in the group. Just the start that Auckland City were looking for. Ivan Visilic. Pritchett. Well, an awful lot of work ahead of Mont Dore now. They've been crowned New Caledonian champions twice in recent years, and unlike AS Dragon and Tahiti, they don't tend to attract members of the national team to their ranks. There is a fair degree of fragmentation when it comes to club affiliations for members of the national team in New Caledonia. And minus Olivier Dokonengo, this Mont Dore side is all the weaker for it. A very difficult player to replace. There's Visilic. Dickinson brings it down for Pritchett. Good piece of defending by Chaco. Garcia. Riera. Garcia again. Beelan taking an extra touch or two. And his intended ball for Taku Iwata finds the Japanese national offside. Joran Weimer with the restart. Well, he's had 3 kicks and none of them have been convincing. Dickinson. Well, he does enjoy running at opponents. Joseph Charko goes over to deal with Darren White. White tries to go by his man and he can't. It's a nice clearance from Alphonse Tokotoko. Look at the pace being exhibited here. Taku Iwata had to go across. He's done well to nick the ball from Pascal Kenon. Kenon is a regular in the New Caledonia national side. And one of 2 players that Ramon Trebulic pointed out may pose 1 or 2 problems for Auckland City in those wide areas. He's got a lot of pace and a lot of experience. Pascal Kenon. Matiu Hervo. Looking for Kenon again. It's Iwata who's won the header. Suto picks it up. Beelan. Garcia. Straight to the feet of Dickinson. That's a lovely touch. Albert Riera's away. There's a cross for Darren White and the shot, and it's 2-0. Darren White with his first goal for Auckland City. He receives the congratulations of Dickinson and Garcia. Wonderful to see a new player score on his home debut, and look at the goalkeeper. He was in all sorts of trouble, and Darren White just had to make sure it was on target. The goalkeeping left a lot to be desired. Auckland City looking very comfortable already. Darren White with a background in German football, English born. 2 seasons under his belt with ASB Premiership rivals Canterbury United, and off to a goal-scoring home debut. Just his 3rd appearance, of course. His first 2 were away from home. Bessier's free kick is wasted. Well, the transformation of this Auckland City side since the acquisition of Mario Beelan has been remarkable. Angel Belanga, a player who spent 3 seasons with Auckland City, left in January. It was difficult to replace, but it looks as though there's no worries here now for Auckland as they go on the attack again. Darren White's cross aimed at the penalty spot. It's hacked clear by Bessier. Joseph Charko defending. White. Hervo's clearance intended for Ramon Panbeni. Garcia, it's all Auckland City at the moment, looking to add to their 2-goal tally. Garcia has that opportunity, squares it, and it's number 3. Gustavo Suto, and it's already a rout just 10 minutes in. Suto joins Dickinson on the goal-scoring list, and it was a wonderful exchange between Garcia and Dickinson. Suto had plenty of time to get his feet right and just trundles it over the line for goal number 3. Mont Dore in danger of being completely swept away here. Pine Benny's given it up to Bale. Picked up by Jean-Pierre Bob. Dickinson's having a strong game again for Auckland. White back to Pritchett. There's gaps appearing all over the park, and Auckland City are just taking every opportunity to exploit it. Suto. Pritchett. (3-0). We've had 10 minutes play at Kiwitea Street. Dickinson. Picked up by Riera. It's all too easy at the moment for Auckland. Garcia. Visilic. Phelan. Back into the navy blue skipper. Riera turning. He had loads of room to turn. He's found Suto. Is this going to be the fourth? Very nearly. Corner for Auckland. There just seems to be a lack of energy about Mont Dore, and they're paying the price. Hoisted to the far post. And Darren White, I think, was unable to keep that in. Yes, Darren White. So the pressure goes on AS Dragon and Waitakere United. As a result of the storming start. Anxious moment for Auckland City. They can ill afford to go to sleep themselves. No club from New Caledonia has managed to take a point in New Zealand in continental club competition. Ivan Visilic looking to get it into the feet of Darren White, and it's picked up by Jean-Pierre Bob. Well, they're just all over the place at the moment, Mont Dore. Look at how Auckland City ripped AS Mont Dore to pieces, and they were all standing and watching. I think they'd given up the ghost as soon as Garcia had breached the back four. The goalkeeper was left stranded, and Gustavo Suto won't score an easier goal than that. So if you've just tuned into this broadcast, it's Auckland City 3. AS Mont Dore 0. The goal scorers Adam Dickinson, Darren White and Gustavo Suto, all inside the first 10 minutes. Riera. Visilic gets a shout from Dickinson, who's come short. And the ball intended for Pritchett goes out. Riera. Looking pretty comfortable at the moment. Mont Dore are going to have to do something pretty quick if they're going to get back into this game. At the moment, Auckland are just toying with them. It's all too easy. Pritchett finds Dickinson. Hint of a handball. There's no indication from the AR. Dickinson still going. Cuts it back. Opportunity at the far post for Garcia. Just wide. And came off Suto. Garcia looked to take it first time. He beat one defender. And just wide of the left-hand upright. Hooked forward by Iwata, away by Bessier. Pascal Kenon is fouled by Iwata. Opportunity for Mont Dore to build something. The new Caledonian Super League season that has just gone by saw Mont Dore finish mid-table. Bessier's free kick headed away by Ivan Visilic. Picked up by Garcia and Bale. Nice combination between the three central midfielders. Now Williams. Dickinson does well to get the ball through to Pritchett. Pritchett's first time pass is cut out by Matiu Hervo. Visilic goes all the way back to Williams. Garcia. Pritchett. Visilic does ever so well. Roman Pine-Benny couldn't nick the ball off him. Garcia goes long. Suto's on the end of it. Little header for Darren White, who's taken to ground by Bessier. And a free kick in a very, very handy position for Auckland City. Suto's cushioned header found White. He just managed to get past Luc Bessier, who eased him to the turf. Well, all the big men are up. Mario Beelan, Ivan Visilic. You've got the physical presence of Adam Dickinson there too. Pritchett's going to swing this into the far post. Opportunity, and it's in. It's Chris Bale for number 4. It's turning into a rout, all right. Perfectly flighted free kick from, that's Garcia who took it, and a free header. The defending was woeful again. And Chris Bale doesn't miss them from that type of range.
80 minutes into the game for Auckland City, number 8. Chris Bale, the scorer.
So we've had 18 minutes. Auckland City 4, Mont Dore 0. They've equalled the scoreline that they set just about 6 years ago against the same side, but today it looks as though they've got even more goals in them. Dickinson running directly at Hervo. Joseph Charco. Well, that's given straight back to Auckland City. Mont Dore just cannot seem to get going today. That kick's gone all the way through to Tamati Williams. Visilic. Mario Beelan. Well, Auckland City will do well to remember the importance of goal difference. It has been a method of elimination in the past. And a feeling particularly in this, the first time these two clubs met, was that Auckland were capable of getting into double figures. The fact that they didn't saw them bow out to Waitakere. Free kick goes Auckland's way. Well, Gustavo Suto will be somewhat unhappy with that. David Wadra looking for Pascal Kenon. Well, Ramon Trebulic will be extremely happy with the way the game has started for his side, but we have seen in the past, particularly a match with Kolowale last season. Auckland ended up winning that game by scoring 7 goals, but they conceded a couple themselves. And it was a game that, in the end, lacked a certain competitive edge, but that's a free kick. It's in a good position for Mont Dore. Albert Hawata just having a quiet word with Kiwitea. So Pascal Cannon will take the free kick for Mont Dore. Roman Painbeni is in the box. Matiu Hervo has come forward, so there's not too many options for Mont Dore here. This looks like a one for the near post, perhaps. 2 players at the far. One of them's Bessier. Corner for Mont Dore. Swung into the near post, hooked away by Iwata. Only as far as the edge of the box. And the shot was high and wide. Well, the OSB Premiership saw Auckland City keep a clean sheet just once, incredibly enough, in the regular season. That was a win over Manawatu here at this ground. 4-0 win. They would dearly love to finish up with a clean sheet here today as Beelan sprays this wide ball for Darren White. The goalkeeper's pursued it and puts it out for a throw-in. Pritchett. Tackle coming in from Alphonse Tokotoko. Dickinson's turned Hervo again. The cross is not the best work from the centre forward. Kennan hooked forward to Jean-Pierre Bob. Picked up by Bob again. Kiwitea does the defending. Mario Beelan has an easy job on his hands. He's going to need some help though. He finds it in Pedro Garcia. Sprayed wide for Pritchett. Mont Dore is stretched. Picked up by Dickinson. The first time pass for Darren White's a good one. But White can't match that and has sent the cross out of the ground. Well, in this fixture, I think Auckland City could probably afford to take just a little bit longer on the ball. Just a fraction longer, mind you. Mont Dore seemed to be well off the pace. That's a lovely ball from Riera, intended for Suto. The goalkeeper's cleared it. Flicked on by Painbeni. Cedric Dequoy has given it up to Chris Bale. Now Auckland can attack again. Darren White checks to see if he's accompanied by any defenders. He's not. It's a clear run on goal for Darren White. Well, he went himself. Dickinson was unmarked near the penalty spot. White's making his apologies. Have a look at this. He had a look up, and there is Dickinson, clear as day. There's no one within 5 or 6 yards of him. Garcia with the corner, whipped into the near post. Oh, and it's a header. And it's ended up in the back of the net. Auckland 5-0 up, and it's a debut goal at home for Mario Beelan. The goals just keep on coming at Kiwitea Street. 26th minute. Excellent delivery. Again, the marking was completely woeful, but the finish was absolutely perfect from Beelan.
And a score for Auckland City, number 19, Mario Beelan, in the 26th minute for Auckland City.
Well, we'll be looking at the record books, trying to find you details of perhaps the biggest wins in OFC Champions League history, because we're in very clear and present danger of perhaps searching some of those score lines. As an AS Mont Dore attack comes to nothing. Williams for Bale. 5-0. We're in the 27th minute of this game. Dickinson. That's an easy turn by Dickinson. Robs the ball off Hervo again. And a posse of Mont Dore players swarming around him, Adam Dickinson. Riera. Garcia switches to Beelan. Iwata, Bale. Iwata's done well. That's a very good piece of play by Iwata. Suto can't finish it off. Albert Riera can. 6-0. Unbelievable stuff. Mont Dore have just crumbled. Plenty to admire about the build-up. Suto wasn't marked. He fluffed his lines the first time out. Darren White just nips in, sets up Riera, and the finish was perfect. Well, a substitute early on, and it's Mathieu Hervo who's withdrawn, one of the centre halves. Morale is absolutely shattered for Mont Dore. Dan Vaki has come on, and Joseph Charco has moved from left back to centre half alongside Luc Bessiere. Suto past two tackles, cover provided by Joseph Charco. Darren White against new man Dan Vaki. Dickinson. Oh, he's managed to get it in. Suto. Pascal Kennan back defending for Mont Dore. They can break now. Jean-Pierre Bob. Well, the options are thin. A hand goes up for offside, but Williams had that situation under control. Half an hour gone. Auckland City 6, AS Mont Dore 0. It is a curiosity of Oceanian football that New Caledonian clubs have had such a small impact on continental competition, unlike the national team, which seems to always be challenging for honours. Darren White for Pedro Garcia. Perhaps another goal in the offing as Auckland look to set up the opportunities. Iwata. Beelan. Visilic has Garcia ahead of him. He's lost out to Roman Pine-Benny, who can't keep the ball in play. Dickinson can't go beyond Luke Bessier, who has no options in front of him. It's neither a pass, I think it was a shot in truth. Well, the only real danger here to the Auckland City performance will be keeping their standards high. Iwata to the far post. Takes a bounce in the penalty area. Downvaki has a long clearance intended for Pine-Benny. It's gone straight to Bale. Pine-Benny pulls Bale down. It's a free kick to Auckland. Well, the gap between the two sides is reflected in the scoreline. And you really do fear for Mont Dore here today. They've looked well off the pace. Garcia takes it for Darren White. Alphonse Tokotoko gets across to put the ball out for a throw-in. Riera for White. Now Garcia. Moment of respite for Mont Dore. Pine-Benny, good first touch. Second, not so good. Iwata's intercepted it. Suto. Iwata's kept his run going. Dickinson's unmarked. He can find Dickinson, he can get a second. And he makes it look so easy, Adam Dickinson. "34 minutes gone, Auckland City 7, AS Mont Dore 0. Excellent pass. The goalkeeping again, eccentric at best. Fatal for Mont Dore. They're being torn asunder almost at will. A rare attack for Mont Dore. Once again, comes to nothing. Well, Auckland City's doing it so comfortably that you wonder if they'll become their own worst enemies in a game like this. It's turned into something of a training exercise for them. And it's just little moments like that that suggest Auckland City are in danger of maybe dropping the intensity slightly. Certainly the result is beyond question. I think it's safe to say the points are safely in the bag for the Navy Blues. Auckland City 7, AS Mont Dore 0. Visilic deciding to get involved in an attacking sense. He set up Darren White, who can't quite get the cross over. It's deflected out for a corner by Dan Vaki. Well, we've seen some pretty loose marking at these defensive set plays. And it's Beelan's second. 37th minute. Auckland City 8, AS Mont Dore 0. Garcia with the perfect corner. Look at the marking. There is no marking. The goalkeeper exposed. And Beelan just needed to get his technique right, and the rest was easy. "37 minutes, 8-0. Opportunity for Dickinson for the hat trick. Straight across the face of goal. Riera cleared eventually. But it's only going to be a moment's respite. Suto. Kiwitea picking up the second ball. It's a throw into Auckland. Riera running into a spot of bother, but he keeps possession of the ball anyway. Well, I do recall Auckland City beating Nokia Eagles of Fiji by 9-1 in an OFC Club Championship semi-final at North Harbour Stadium back in 2006. And if memory serves me correctly, I think Nokia may have even taken the lead in that game, but they got swamped in a second half deluge. Today, all the goals have come inside the opening 37 minutes. Lovely switch of play. Pritchett for Bale. Riera. Beelan. Well, Mont Dore seeing none of the ball, and they're suffering for it. Dan Vaki picks it up for the New Caledonians. Jean-Pierre Bob. Vaki's pushed forward. Pine Benny, Jean-Pierre Bob. Positive spell here for Mont Dore. Joseph Charco's switch of play, looking for Pascal Kennon. And the ball clipped in behind, and the offside flag goes up. It was Kennon who was the offending player. Pritchett. Dan Vaki left behind in Darren White's wake. He's taken a little kick at him. Well, Mont Dore coach Harold Oiramoa will be crestfallen at this horrific first 40 minutes for his side. Garcia goes to the near post this time, and Dan Vaki gets a head on it. Joseph Charco manages to get it clear for Jean-Pierre Bob. Well picked up by James Pritchett. Too strong for the diminutive New Caledonian midfielder Jean-Pierre Bob. Beelan. Garcia. Visilic. Beelan clips one into Suto. Alphonse Tokotoko has given the ball away for Mont Dore, picked up by Beelan. Well, looking ahead to Auckland City's next game, I think it's safe to say the points in the bag here. But they face AS Dragon on Wednesday next week at Trust Stadium. Here's Dickinson. Can he make it 9? Well, yes he can. 43 minutes gone. Auckland City get their 9th goal. Dickinson has been all power and no mercy. Look at the goalkeeping. The goalkeeping is abysmal. And Dickinson has a hat-trick. Pritchett. Beelan. It's just been too easy for Auckland City today. And Suto is down with an injury, and this will be something for Ramon Trebulic to just keep an eye on. He's got a number of players that are sitting on yellow cards. Ivan Visilic and Adam Dickinson both have yellow cards from the Super City Derby win. And Andrew Milne and Daniel Koprasic, who are both on the bench this afternoon, have also got yellow cards. So with the job safely done here, you would imagine that keeping some of the powder dry for games to come would be of a priority. That did look a nasty one. Here's another look at the 7th goal. Adam Dickinson's second. Took it offline from the goalkeeper. He really had no business being that far out. Iwata didn't even have to look up to pick out his teammate. And the finish was perfect. The 8th goal from a Pedro Garcia corner. Look, 2 players there at the near post unmarked. There's no excuse for that. And Mario Beelan grabbed his 2nd goal. And the referee has brought the brutality to a close after 45 minutes of goals raining down every 5 minutes on average. Auckland City are on their way toward creating an OFC Champions League record. They lead AS Mont Dore by 9 goals to 0 at half-time. We have an opportunity to reflect on a first half that has resembled more of a training ground fixture than anything else today, and it all began after just 4 minutes. The strength of Adam Dickinson was enough to take him past 2 players. He turned Matiu Hervo just outside the box, and the rest, as they say, was history. He beat the goalkeeper with some considerable ease. That got Auckland off to the perfect start. And the Auckland City faithful were happy nevertheless. 4 minutes later, another goal. Wonderful first touch from Dickinson. This ball in from Albert Riera set Darren White up for the easiest of finishes. The marking again, the goalkeeping again were all suspect. And all White had to do was just keep it on target, which he managed to do with no problem. 2-0 Auckland City. Two minutes later, another goal celebration coming up. Wonderful interchange of play between Dickinson and Garcia. Gustavo Souto, he won't score an easier goal than that, the Spanish striker.
And once again, we have to report that there's been a black wallet missing. It's been lost.
Goal number 4 came from a Pedro Garcia free kick, and it was Mario Beelan. Sorry, no, it was Chris Bale, again, with more or less a free header at the far post. Kept it on target, was met with minimal resistance, and Auckland with 4 goals to the good. Again, set piece is a problem for AS Mont Dore. Mario Beelan got on the score sheet with a deft header. The goalkeeping, well, it wasn't great, was it? It was pretty far from great, and Auckland City were already well on their way. 4 minutes later, Kiwitea with the ball to the near post. Miscue from Souto. Darren White just teed it up for Albert Riera, who had an easy job to just give it a bit of curl with pace into the far corner. And Mont Dore were in tatters. '34th minute. The pain just kept on coming. Kiwitea, first time ball in for Dickinson. The goalkeeper was well out of his 6-yard box. He was almost playing like a sweeper. There was no need for that. And Adam Dickinson just stroked it calmly into the back of the net for his second. 37 minutes, again from a set piece. And Beelan outdoing the goalkeeper, who in all truth has been well and truly exposed by a defence that seemed very disinterested in the most basic of marking. And then 2 minutes before the half-time break, Adam Dickinson completed a memorable first half for him. The goalkeeper, well, I'm sorry, but that was very poor goalkeeping, and still a job to do for Dickinson, though. He'll enjoy it. It's a hat-trick for him. It puts him on a total of 6 goals for the Champions League for this season. So more action to come for you in the second half, and no doubt more goals as well. We'll see you back here for the second half in a few moments' time. Welcome back to Kiwitea Street for the second half of what has proved to be a veritable goal fest at Auckland City, perhaps for, well, a few incorrect reasons, chiefly being AS Mont Dore have been absolutely put to the sword here. They trail Auckland City by 9 goals to 0. It's been an absolute thrashing. 2 substitutions being prepared for Auckland City. Alex Fenarides and David Brown about to be injected into the action. Chris Bale is being withdrawn. That's a straight swap for Fenerides, and the hat-trick hero Adam Dickinson is also off. And I wonder if Jacob Spoon is going to see some action as well. We shall see. Now, just looking back across some of the records set over the past 13 or 14 years of Oceania Club Continental Football, the record victory for any team in this competition is held by Central United, curiously enough. They beat Tongan club Lotoha up by 16 goals to nil. That was back in 1999. And they share that record, in fact, with Wollongong Wolves, who beat the same opponents by the same scoreline, 16-0. That was set in 2000. So Auckland City have a target to strive for in the second half, if that is your sort of thing. Of course, it's always difficult for the team on the receiving end of such drubbing, but here we go. We're underway again. Visilic for Riera. Of course, Central United are the winter feeder club for Auckland City. And pre-ASB Premiership days, they were the top dogs in the New Zealand National League. Garcia. Giving that straight to Jean-Pierre Bob, who can run at Ivan Visilic. Produces a shot at the end of it. Oh! Some strike. We've had less than a minute of the second half, and Jean-Pierre Bob with a wonder goal. It's not going to do too much to the scoreline, but it will certainly lift spirits in a team that were completely outclassed in the first half. He had plenty of room to work into, and then just let one rip. It died right at the last and ends up in the back of the net. Remarkable start to the second half. David Brown getting a couple of touches on the ball. Here's Garcia. Fenerides, the other substitute. Trying to play that into the corner. There were no takers. I think it's also worth mentioning at this point that it has been a lot more competitive between clubs since the inception of a seasonal format to a Champions League. As Visilic tries to find Suto with that long pass, it's been cut out by Joseph Chako. The fact that we have to stretch back 14 years to pick through the records and try and find for you some of the double-figured score lines from the past says a lot about the improvement in the overall quality today. Does seem to be something of an anomaly. Let's hope it's a brief one. Riera brings Beelan into play. Clipped into the corner for Kiwitea. David Wadra with the challenge on Iwata. Takes a throw. Garcia. Looking for Gustavo Suto, headed away by Joseph Chako. David Brown has a chance. Oh, he seemed to be clipped. He stayed on his feet, and the left foot shot is high over the crossbar. An exciting talent, David Brown. And he's going to relish the opportunity he's got before him to find his feet at this level of football. Darren White, Suto in the centre, David Brown at the far post. Look at how the ball died in mid-flight and just dipped into the top left-hand corner of Tamati Williams' goal. That search for a string of clean sheets is going to have to be reset for Auckland City. It's just a shame that Jean-Pierre Bob's strike is not going to be more memorable for him as it goes to the far post, and the marking is a bit tighter. It was just an absolute free-for-all for Auckland City players in the first half from set plays. Jean-Pierre Bob again. Alex Fenerides picks the ball off him like picking a pocket. Riera switching play to the left. Iwata. Brown. Getting caught on the ball, David Brown, but Auckland still have it. Well, they did. Brown against David Wadra. Riera can't pick him out again. So this currently equals Auckland City's best ever margin of victory in an OFC Champions League fixture. I mentioned in the first half the win over Nokia Eagles back in 2006 at North Harbour Stadium. That finished 9-1. They have had an 8-1 scoreline. That was over Port Vila Sharks in 2009. There is Ramon Trebulic and assistant coach Paul Gottard. Picked up by Riera. David Brown tumbles over. Pascal Cannon gives him a helping hand to his feet. Taken by Wadra, the throw. Too far for Pine Benny. Well, while Olivia Dokanengo is listed in the squad and he's not here today. Oh, and that's a good ball by Fenerides for White. Dan Varkey picks it up and wins a goal kick. Yes, I mentioned Olivia Dokanengo as listed in the squad for AS Mont Dore. He's not here today. New Caledonia international. But he would have been proud of this strike from Jean-Pierre Bob. It was a wonderful goal. Look at that. Of the 10 goals we've seen, arguably the flashiest piece of individual skill. Riera, nice ball. David Brown with a chance. Good save by the goalkeeper. That will do his confidence some good. He's had a terrible afternoon overall. So to come back to the point about Dokanengo, he is a New Caledonia international listed in the squad. He hasn't come to Auckland today. He's also the General Secretary of the New Caledonia Federation, and Ramon Pine Benny, who's on the ball here, is listed as their media manager. So I wonder if he also picks up the media manager role for the club. Certainly got one up on me in that regard, playing in the OFC Champions League. Although even today, I think I might fancy my chances out there in a navy blue shirt. It's been a procession for Auckland so far. Kiwitea overlaps David Brown, who cuts inside onto his right. Joseph Chako's header only as far as Riera. Mario Beelan has it. Fenarides. Joseph Chako slides in and concedes a throw. Riera, Garcia. Well, Jean-Pierre Bob's goal has given Mont Dore a bit of a lift. Garcia, that's a pretty good ball to James Pritchett. Winds in the cross to the far post. David Brown's header. High over the crossbar. Excellent delivery by James Pritchett. The ball in from Pedro Garcia was equally attractive, and the opportunity attracted the attention of David Brown. There's Suto, he was unmarked. Pritchett picked out Brown at the far post, unmarked. And the diving header, he perhaps had a little bit more time than he realised, and it skied over the bar. Brown perhaps with a second chance. Joseph Chako with a wild clearance. Very much out of the Anywhere Will Do handbook of defending. Well, it will be a corner, in fact. Garcia winds it in. Visilic. Well, he could hardly have seen that in the sun, Ivan Visilic. He chose to try and play it safe rather than taking the leather off the ball. Intelligent approach from the navy blue skipper. And there was Brown. He needn't have dived so theatrically, perhaps. It was harder to miss for him, but still a young player with plenty of experience to be gained. Pritchett. Acrobatic clearance only goes as far as Alex Fenarides from David Wadra. Luke Bessier with a wild swing at the ball. It only goes as far as Garcia, who resets the attack. Picks out Darren White. First touch to James Pritchett. Darren White finds Pritchett again, looking for the return ball. Chako's clearance. Another substitution. It's Gustavo Suto being replaced by Manel Exposito.
I'll take the bag going in.
We have a substitution for Auckland City. Number 10, Gustavo Suto.
So an opportunity for Exposito to add to his own personal goal tally. In a navy blue shirt, he's amongst the top 4 goal scorers in club history. And Alex Exposito, and he's got there in pretty quick time. Of course, Grant Young, Kieran Jordan, and Paul Erlovich are the men with the golden touch. Of course, all 3 of those players are now retired. Beelan. Kiwitea. Substitution confirmed. Exposito on for Suto. Garcia does well. Riera evades 3 challenges. Fenarides displays it wide to the left where he's found David Brown taking on David Wadra. He goes by him, and Wadra looked as though he clipped David Brown. Cedric Dequois. Ludwig Ziola. Cut out by Riera, picked up by Fenarides. Luke Bessier finds Ludwig Ziola, who runs into trouble. He's been pickpocketed again by Fenarides. The ball through from Exposito was a little on the heavy side for Fenarides to pick up. Look at the footwork here from David Brown, tormenting David Wadra, who in the end managed to clip the Papua New Guinea youngster. White with the cross early into the box. Luke Bessier's picked it up. Needs an out ball though. Finds it in Dan Vaki. Jean-Pierre Bob. Roman Paine-Benny. And the referee's picked up an infringement. It goes AS Mont Dore's way. Well, AS Magenta finished top dogs in New Caledonia in the season just gone by. They've done that, or they've achieved the landmark National League victory twice in the last 3 seasons. Oh, and here's Exposito. What can he produce? He's by Bessier and chips it in. Number 10. Classy piece of finishing by Manel Exposito. Shares the moment with Greg Ullman and Ian Ullman, who are watching, former Navy Blue stalwart himself. Look at that. Luke Bessier gets his feet all tangled up, and Joran Weimer was neither here nor there, allowing Exposito to just lob it calmly into the back of the net for number 10. 62 minutes gone. Auckland City 10, AS Mont Dore 1. Pritchett. Jean-Pierre Bob was hunting for any hint of the ball, and he doesn't get it. Visilic. Pedro Garcia. Riera. Fenarides has plenty of room in front of himself. Clips a ball in behind David Wadra for David Brown. Strong challenge from David Wadra. Oh, and a chance for Darren White. Goes to ground. There was no hint of a foul. His foot just got stuck in the pitch. Mont Dore on a counter-attack of sorts. They've hoisted that one to the far post. Attempted shot, I think, has ended up with Pedro Garcia. Look at this. Darren White was through, but just got tangled up. Exposito was lurking, waiting for any offload. Well, the aspect about a game like this also, from an Auckland City perspective, is the possibility that goals could come in a rush at any time. And while 16-0 is a scoreline that is now impossible for Auckland to get, you just wonder if, nevertheless, they could win the game by that sort of a margin, 16 goals. You would hope, at least from a neutral perspective, that the scoreline doesn't blow out any further than it already has. Auckland City, though, as I said earlier, have suffered for their lack of goals in previous editions of the Champions League, 2007 being one competition. They drew twice with Waitakere. They beat Mont Dore 2-0 away and then beat Mont Dore 4-0 at home. And they were tumbled out by Waitakere, who won 6-0 at Fred Taylor Park in the same competition. And it was those two goals that ended up eliminating the Navy Blues. Williams has to dash out of his goal to head the danger away. Oh, Luke Bessiere gets the ball. It looked a rough challenge. Manel Exposito has a word to the referee. Oh, and Darren White's onside. Exposito has made a run into the penalty area. David Brown with a cross. Still with Brown. Number 11, Exposito at the far post. 65 minutes. The persistence pays off, and Exposito adds to this scoreline. David Brown took on 3 defenders. Luke Bessiere, no marking at all, and Manel Exposito has been on the pitch for barely 7 minutes. He's got 2 goals already. Well, that tackle has left its mark as play continues. It looks like it could be a bad one as well. And this is the last thing that Ramon Trebulic needs as Auckland head into the next game against AS Dragon. That's Darren White who's down for the count. It looks as though his ankle's been caught there, and he knew immediately that he was in trouble. You can see there from Manel Exposito that it's going to need a stretcher perhaps. Well, we don't like to see any player hurt at any time. Oh yeah, that's a nasty one. Just 3 games into his Auckland City career. There's an ice pack on that left foot, presumably the ankle. Of course, the Auckland City bench There's another look at this extraordinary strike from Jean-Pierre Bob. 46 minutes. We had less than the 60 seconds of the second half underway, and Mont Dore presented us with this wonderful moment. Of course, within the context of the game, it's almost rendered itself meaningless given Auckland City now lead by 10. Substitution is made. Alfonso Tokotoko has come off. Giacchino Mao has replaced him. Auckland City have 10 players. Well, another late challenge has left Pedro Garcia on the deck. Giacchino Mao has already received a talking to. He's been on the pitch less than 30 seconds. Iwata gets a hurry on from Romain Paibeni. David Wadra. Ludwig Ziola gives it straight back to David Brown. Beelan. Garcia. David Brown trying to get the better of David Wadra with a piece of skill. Iwata's got his defending to do. Pascal Kennon was hunting for the ball. Iwata's clearance as far as the right back, David Wadra, who goes on a marauding run of his own. David Brown gets a tackle from behind, and there's going to be a yellow card here. David Wadra for the challenge on David Brown, who's just been told not to dither on the ball, I think, in these areas. Just given the mood of the game at the moment, I think any player who does the same is just going to invite that type of challenge. Garcia. Veselic. Just under 20 minutes of the match remaining here at Kiwitea Street. Great ball by Beelan. For Brown. Iwata. Beelan. Ball intended for Veselic is picked up by James Pritchett. Confirmation of the scoreline: Auckland City 11, AS Mont Dore 1. Jean-Pierre Bob, the goal scorer for AS Mont Dore. A hat-trick for Manel Exposito. No, sorry, for Adam Dickinson, I do apologise. 2 goals from Manel Exposito, 2 for Mario Beelan. Chris Bale has got on the score sheet. Darren White has also scored. Gustavo Suto managed 1 before he was replaced. And Albert Riera. Here's Exposito. David Wadra providing cover. David Brown around Luke Bessiere. Those red shirts buzzing around the ball at the moment. Well, appeals for a handball, they're all rather forlorn. Ball taking a deviation. David Brown does well to keep the ball under those circumstances. Luke Bessiere with a desperate piece of defending. Garcia. Riera. Doesn't get on the score sheet too often, Albert Riera. He has today. Stumbles at the crucial moment. Bessiere's picked it up. Goes long. Looking for Mao. Who's gone by Beelan. He's taking on Veselic. Goes to ground, and it's a free kick. Mal just trying to get on his right foot. It was a big, big touch. I don't know whether he would have had the pace to even catch up with it had he gone past Ivan Veselic. So Joseph Charko will take the free kick. There's 3 men in the Auckland City wall. We're about to be 3. Manel Exposito setting the calibration of the wall. Pedro Garcia's joined in. Referee has brought the wall back. The record was at 10. James Pritchett is just off to the left of that wall as we face it. And Joseph Charko looks as though he may have a go at the post nearest to where the free kick is being taken from, as we see Louis Wire join the fray for AS Mont Dore. Here's Charko.
We have a substitution from Mont Dore.
Regulation piece of goalkeeping for Tamati Williams.
Being replaced by number 19, Louis Wow.
Wasn't a bad free kick in terms of its technique, but in terms of stretching the goalkeeper, it didn't really get past marks. As we see Iwata get taken down late, it's Roman Painbeni, who's the guilty party. Joran Wire with the clearance. Pritchett's header. Kikaino Mal misses out. David Brown gives it to Garcia. Nice switch of play by Brown to Veselic. First touch back to Williams. Well, there is a big, big double header coming up for you on Wednesday. It features Auckland City against AS Dragon and Waitakere United taking on AS Mont Dore. Auckland City will face Dragon at 3 o'clock. And that's a nice piece of defending by Joseph Charko, heading it back to the goalkeeper first time. And then at 6 p.m. on the same day at the same venue, AS Mont Dore will take on Waitakere United. Now, depending on the result between Waitakere and Dragon being played today, that will determine just how important those two fixtures are for both clubs, well, for at least 3 of those clubs. I think after today we can safely say that Mont Dore are truly gone from any faint top 2 aspirations they may have had prior. Bessier. Iwata's interception. It's a valuable one. Brown. Well, Painbeni is looking for David Brown each time, and the referee would be as well to get another card out. He's already spoken to Painbeni twice now. Have a look here. There's no chance of winning the ball. And if you'd gone in any harder than that, might have posed a problem for Brown, as we saw with Darren White earlier. Danvaki, cross to the near post. Kikaino Mal for Painbeni. It's in the back of the net. It's a tidy finish by the Mont Dore striker. It's 11-2. Extraordinary scoreline here at Kiwitea Street. 79th minute. Not a bad shot at all. Auckland will perhaps see that as sloppy defending, but in a game that has been at times far too easy for them, keeping that level of concentration up is not as easy as it would appear to be on face value. Ludwig Ziola. Ziola again. Charco. Vaki. Here's the new man, Louis Wire. Mont Dore on the attack. Jean-Pierre Bob. Cross has been cut out for a corner by James Pritchett. Taken quickly. And the cross to the far post by Bob has gone out. Goals to 2. Yeah, it's a scoreline that has never been registered previously in any OFC Champions League competition. Sydney FC had a 9-2 win over FC Sobu back in 2005 at the OFC Club Championship. Iwata, that's an intelligent quick throw. Oh, and that's the hat-trick for Manel Exposito. Quality finish from a quality player. There was so much time here. Exposito could have got it wrong. He thought long and hard about picking out a teammate and then decided, well, why not? Why not indeed? Auckland City 12-2 up. I don't think I've ever had to call a match quite as strange as this one in terms of the scoreline. 12-2. It's got a very old school rugby league feel to it. Ludwig Ziola. Luke Bessier slips. He's picked out Pine Benny. Still with AS Mont Dore. Cedric Decroix. Can't keep the attack going. Pine Benny wins it for Wadra. Chikaino Mao. David Brown. Trying to get the better of Ziola, and he does. He gets the better of Luke Bessier as well. And that's a corner. The ball underneath the commentary position, in case you hadn't picked out. We're calling that this game from that car. Just in front of the ball carrier, Pedro Garcia. Clipped in for Riera. Mont Dore have pressed. Visilic is onside. Goes for the cross, and David Brown hoists it over the bar. Nice play from Albert Riera, quality player. Look at this, Ivan Visilic elected to cross the ball. Fenarides and Brown, the two substitutes, were totally unmarked, and Brown just snatched at the chance. Handball called. Garcia. Beelan. Tamati Williams has picked out Manel Exposito. He's unmarked. He can just bring this down. The centre half is out of position, by the way, and David Brown sets up Taku Iwata straight into the arms of the goalkeeper. Joran Weimer hasn't had too much of a easy-going afternoon. That was perhaps the easiest save he's had to make. Oh, and straight across the face of goal. David Brown with a clever cutback for Iwata, who tried to be too cute with it in truth. And Joran Weimer had the easiest of catches to execute. Here's another look at that chance for Mont Dore. Cedric Decroix with a right foot effort. Ziola. Joseph Charco. Charco again. Charco picking it up, and not sure whether that was a pass intended for Ziola or Decroix. And Brown's given that straight to Luc Bessier. Nice ball by Bessier for Pine Benny. This cross isn't an extremely good one. It's broken for Mont Dore anyway. It's going to be a corner. Corners to the far post. Goes to the edge of the box. A shot from Jakaino Mao. Just over 3 minutes of the regulation 90 to be played. I would hazard a guess here that referee Norbert Hoata will blow this up at the conclusion of those regulation 90 minutes. Tight ball for David Brown. Pedro Garcia is on hand to provide support. It's gone through the legs of the substitute Weimer. Tries to clip one in for Exposito, but it's too close to the goalkeeper. Perhaps enough time for Mont Dore to get a third goal. Just to add to the surreal nature of this afternoon's game. 12-3, what a... Well, 12-2, strange enough. 12-3 would just add to that weirdness, I think. David Brown. On the break now, Brown. Plays in Exposito. Brown is unmarked. Takes a wee deflection, it's out for a corner. Exposito rushing across to take it. Garcia's coming over for a short corner. Garcia, it's taken as a short corner. Exposito's ball headed away by Dan Varkey. Break by Jean-Pierre Bob, and Chikaino Mao is offside. Well, AS Mont Dore had to play off against Tupapa Maraiarenga of the Cook Islands to qualify for this season's edition of the Champions League. They beat Tupapa 3-1. And judging by this afternoon's performance, they could well be involved in having to qualify for the OFC Champions League next season. It's been a forgettable afternoon for Mont Dore. Their biggest ever defeat in Oceania club competition has been on the cards since very early on in this game. And question marks will have to be raised against their preparation. They've been totally outclassed in every department. Awkward one for Tamati Williams to take. We're into time added on. There won't be too much of that. At least we hope not. Williams clearance. Referee checks his watch. Dekwa. Vaki. Ziola. He's lost out. Perhaps one more goal in the offing for Auckland City. Garcia taking on Bessier. Slips it wide to Exposito. Bessier goes over to cut him down, or shut him down, sorry. Freudian slip. Now Fenerides. David Brown is offside. Ball was moving. Referee Norbert Hoata invites Luc Bessier to retake the free kick. Louis Wire. Pascal Kennon. Ludwig Ziola with a woeful ball that goes out. Well, from an Auckland perspective, it's very much job done. It's come at a cost. Darren White looks as though he's been injured rather seriously. And Roman Pine-Benny is extremely lucky in my book to not receive a yellow card. Well, he has now. And that may be 2 challenges overdue, because all 3 of the challenges that he has made that have been of concern have all been against David Brown. And I can't think that that's by coincidence. Garcia. Beelan. Garcia again. Chikaino Mao doing the defending up front for Mont Dore. Kennon's throw, flicked on by Pine-Benny. Chikaino Mao trying to slip through Louis Wire. And that is full time at Kiwitea Street. It has been an extraordinary afternoon in terms of the goals scored. It's been a forgettable one for AS Mont Dore. They've been absolutely outclassed by 12 goals to 2. Auckland City have got the job done, and perhaps nothing more. They've certainly improved their goal difference. It's now looking extremely healthy, and a ticket to the semi-finals is all but assured, one would think, at this juncture. But Darren White, who would stretch it off, is a major concern for Auckland as we look back on the highlights of the second half. And it began with Jean-Pierre Bob cutting in on his right foot and then unleashing this wonder strike into the top left-hand corner of Tamati Williams' goal. That made it 9-1. And it gave Mont Dore a lift for a moment or two. It was a quality strike. And look how it just dipped under the crossbar. Probably the pick of the goals, in an individual sense at least. 61 minutes. Auckland City were back on the goal-scoring trail. Substitute Manel Exposito with his clever chip over the goalkeeper Joran Weimer. That made it 10-1. And was the first of a treble for the ex-Barcelona player. We only had to wait another 4 minutes, and David Brown's cutback was blocked by a defender. He got a second crack at it. Look at the marking. No such thing in the Mont Dore book. And Manel Exposito kept his head, kept calm, kept it on target, and that made it 11 goals to 1. "12 minutes to go, and there was a goal, and strangely enough it was for Mont Dore. The attempted clearance by Taku Iwata didn't quite come off, and then this left foot volley from Ramon Paibeni had too much on it for Tamati Williams. It was a good strike in fairness. That made the score 11-2. Nine minutes to go, and Iwata throw-in was taken quickly, and the hat-trick for Manel Exposito. You could see that he thought about trying to lob it or perhaps play it into the path of David Brown, but then having witnessed some of the goalkeeping today, he thought, why not? And let fire with that left foot shot for the hat-trick. Auckland City 12, AS Mont Dore 2. We can now go sideline with Ramon Trebulic, who was with our reporter Olivier Hook.
Playing the way we played, they probably lost a little bit of the plot, which is understandable. So overall, we played really well, so we are very happy with that.
It's good for the goal average in this kind of competition.
Yeah, we always know, and you know it's good to score 12 goals. But you know we just want to keep going. We don't even want to think about it. You know, we've got a couple of games next week that are going to be very tough, and that's our next target.
Any news about the injury?
Yeah, it looks like it might be a broken ankle. We don't know. We still gotta see what happens, how it looks tomorrow. We'll explore it tomorrow, and it's a little bit unfortunate, So what can we do? Hopefully it's not too bad.
Now in 4 days you have a tough match against Dragon here in Trust Stadium.
Yeah, the Tahitians are very good. I mean, we've been able to watch a couple of their games. They look very organised, especially out of position. So they're going to be very, very tough to break down for us. But we'll be ready for it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Merci.
Well, concern for Ramon Trebulic over the well-being of Darren White, suspected broken ankle, but confirmation that Auckland City have won here today. It's been easy for them. They've outclassed AS Mont Dore by 12 goals to 2. On behalf of everybody at OFC TV and myself, Gordon Glenn Watson, it's been a pleasure bringing you the action, and we'll see you again next time.